If you're in a season where nothing's working, this might be the shift you've been praying for. Stick around to hear how a mindset shift and allowing God to take control. I'm JW, and this is Sissy.
And on this channel, Faith and Alignment, we will be discussing content based on faith, business, and marriage.
Yes.
Just to recap from our last video, we were considering selling the business. But when we prayed, that's when God gave us the peace on not to sell, just to be still and to wait on Him. He reminded us that the business was something that he had gave us, and he let us know that he wasn't done with us yet, or the business. So in this video, we're going to share how the shift completely changed us and how we had to listen
Yes.
to him and be still, and seeing how God built the business stronger and stronger.
Because sometimes it's not the end, it's just God setting you up for your breakthrough.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. And on the last episode, one of them, we talked about one of our biggest contracts setting us up or wanting us to do a different stream
Mm-hmm.
of income. So
Mm-hmm.
it was, they had came to me and talked to me. He just asked me, um, do you think you would want to do some mobile oil changes? If you do mobile oil changes, I could give you more than what you can handle. And it goes hand in hand with what we already doing. Mobile car washes, mobile oil changes, everything is just consists of you servicing the clients right there. And it's the same thing for the mobile oil changes. It's servicing units right there at the places that they may be.
So let me ask you how you started that. So what did you initially think when he asked you that?
Well, I initially thought about it and I was like, well, you had mentioned it to me. You said, well, you got one unit, mobile trailer that we're not using. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So,
Were you hesitant?
yes, I was real hesitant because I've been a detailer for 20 years. You
Right.
know, something that I really never thought about was doing mobile oil changes, even by me being a detailer for that long.
So, like, what did you have to do to get set up? Was it like, let's talk about how
Yeah,
you set it up.
yeah. Well, it was a lot of research that I had to do. So, far as finding the oil, you know, finding a company that will bring the oil, finding a company that will bring the oil filters, finding a company that will get rid of the old oil, disperse that
Hmm.
after we dispersed it into the way I had it set up. So it was a lot of logistic stuff, even for the tools and stuff that you needed to do the mobile oil changes on site, just to make sure that you had everything that you would need. And there's a lot of different units that we do. So it was a lot of research that we had to do on the engine sizes, how many quarts of oil that each van or truck would take. You know, some of them would take 6, some of them would take 12. That was a lot of logistic stuff that we had to
So,
figure out.
outside of that part, do you think if you just hadn't have gave it to God, would he have presented this different
No,
stream of income to
no,
us?
it was all God, and by the the grace of God for even for the guy to even ask me and for me to think about it. Of course, I was nervous, but once I prayed, it seemed like God just gave me everything that I needed to do, even from it may seem simple for some people, even from where to get the drums to put the oil in and the drums to disperse the oil in, So it
Right.
may seem simple, but when you get presented something like that, if you don't go and pray about it, which I did, it it seems like everything came easy once I prayed about it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you hear like those open doors.
Yeah,
And I think it was, to me, my opinion, because he didn't present it to me, but even though I'm,
yeah,
associated with the business,
right.
but it was kind of like a small window of
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah,
And if
it
we
was.
didn't jump on it,
Yeah,
and God had it right there for us
yeah,
when we were thinking about selling the company. Because if I can go back and think about it, it was only what, maybe 2 months,
2 months. Yeah,
within 2 months, and then we were presented a whole nother stream
of
of
income.
revenue,
Yeah, we sure was. We sure
you
was.
know, to add to our capability statement
Yeah,
that, okay, now we are servicing rental units,
yeah.
doing mobile oil
Oil changes.
changes, along with detailing them.
Yeah,
So I just think that when you really think about it, I mean,
that's exactly
that
what it
is
was.
exactly what we're talking
Yeah,
about today. That was a breakdown,
yeah,
set with
yeah.
God for a little bit, and then it was a
It was a
breakthrough.
breakthrough. That's how I knew it was God because He had mentioned it to me before,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a little, well, not a little. I was a lot reluctant, or should I say, maybe scared until I started praying.
Right.
So and that's when everything came together and all the nervousness or scared, should I say, all of that went away.
Well, I think, a lot of times anything new puts fear in us.
Oh yeah, it does.
I don't
Yeah,
think, um, I think it's common
yeah,
to have a little bit of fear because
yeah,
you're crossing over another bridge,
yeah.
or
Into a
something
different
new
element. Yeah,
territory.
yeah,
There's a lot of liability
yes,
associated with that.
it is.
So
Yeah,
we're fully covered because
yeah,
we have city contracts, so that
yeah.
wasn't an issue, but
Right.
still there was a different type of liability that we're moving into.
Yeah, and on top of that, you still have to go out and find oil changing mobile people. Now it's probably pretty easy to find stationary oil
Mhm.
changers,
Mhm.
but mobile that's willing to go out and go to all these different sector or places that
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
servicing,
Yeah.
so
So
that was another not a challenge. It was that was fairly easy too, by the grace of God, always.
yeah. The other breakthrough that we had mentioned on our last video was moving into a new office
Yes.
space. And it's like when you look back at God, it's like, wow, we were presented, we were still within our lease at our current office.
Yeah.
And it was like God knew, okay, with you guys doing mobile oil changes
Right.
and housing more equipment,
You
we
needed
didn't
a
even
bigger
have
space.
a bay at
Right.
the time that we agreed upon this additional.
To
We
store
had
the
a
stuff.
right, we just had a physical office space. So within months, probably 2 to 3 months as well,
Yeah.
we saw an office, um, kind of on the higher end of our same complex. It's a really large complex.
Yeah.
Um, and we, you know, asked, and we were actually still within our lease.
Yes, we
And
was.
when I say how quickly God moved
He
within,
moved.
it was
He moved.
amazing. So we
Yeah.
were able to move in, um, had 2 additional office spaces,
Yeah.
and like what else?
Well, it was the shop,
We were
really we really needed the room to be anytime you store in 55-gallon drums, you can't just do it with just a physical office with just office spaces in it
right,
and one little break room,
right.
So we needed that to be able to store the stuff and to be able to move forward with God, what God presented us with.
Hmm.
And He presented us with a bigger space, like you said, more offices,
More parking
more
spaces
parking.
for our mobile
Yeah,
units. Um, and it was almost like when you look back now,
yeah.
I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but it feels like
It
overnight.
seems like it
I
did.
mean, it was not a wrestle or
Uh-uh.
anything. Um,
Everything went
it
so
just was
smooth.
kind of transferring the lease to this particular unit,
Yeah,
filling out the paperwork, and just moving forward.
yeah.
Physically, all we had to do was our employees helped us move.
That's it.
Um, that was it.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing when you give it
To
to
God.
God,
Yeah. It is
and
amazing.
like what He does.
Yeah.
Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean
Trust
not
in Him.
to your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. A lot of times we all love to know what's next,
Yeah.
right?
We do.
Okay, if I do this,
Yeah. We do.
what's going to happen? Because you could
Yeah.
have been thinking on the lines of when our point of contact from the rental company said, "Hey, are you interested in doing mobile oil changes?" You could have been thinking, "What's next?"
Yeah.
Because you've
What's
been
that?
detailing,
For 20 years.
right?
Yeah. So that would have been
We've
the
owned the
easy.
business for, I think at that particular time, like 13, and
Yeah.
we've only hired mobile detailers, not
Right.
mobile oil changers,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think about that, like we talked about in the last video, I know there's just human nature to want to know and want things
What's your
like
steps?
right now.
Yeah.
But just like I've mentioned, I've been detailing for 20 years. Never thought about doing mobile oil changes.
Right.
But when God presents something to you, it is like an open door.
Mhm.
If you don't walk through it, just like what we did,
Right.
it that door closed.
Yeah.
But we walk through it, and it's always God always had His hands in it,
Yeah, but a lot of times, he often leads us, what, one step
step
at a
at a time.
time.
He does.
Yeah. And
He does.
also, the verse reminds us that real trust means letting go of the need
Yeah,
to understand
yeah,
what everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Understand everything. And when we lean on our own understanding, we become anxious,
yeah,
we worry,
yeah,
we're frustrated, we get tired,
yeah.
we get burned out,
Mhm.
physical things start happening to our
Yeah,
bodies. But when we submit every part of our life to Him, our business, our marriage, and our
yeah.
finances, it's in our dreams, it just straightens our path.
It sure does.
And it's,
It does.
we're not fully delivered.
No,
Totally not fully delivered
I'm
from
not
the
either.
anxiousness and all of that.
All
But
that means that we're not perfect, and we still have a lot of things that we deal with throughout the business, the praying, and just everyday life things.
hmm
That's all that means. But if you keep Him always in your life, the things and the problems that you may have, He might not straighten it out right then, like what we be thinking and wanting, but He will get it straightened out for you. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, if you're a believer.
Mhm.
If you
So today, stop trying to carry what God is asking you to surrender. Trust Him with all your heart, and He'll make your path straight.
If this encourages you, share it with someone who's about to give up. And do not forget to subscribe
And like,
because we've got more faith and business stories to help you stay alive.
see you next time.